What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, what we're going to be talking about is ATM business automation. Should you do it? What comes with that? And then also, should you work with my company in terms of having us get you set up with an automated ATM business, right? So jumping straight into it, let's first discuss how much does it typically cost to start an ATM business, right? Everyone always asks this question. The answer is really going to differ from person to person, but the average person, if you're taking this seriously, you're going to spend about $6,000 to $8,000. Okay, so just kind of going over some of the variables here. We have our ATM, which is $2,500 to $3,000. Your LLC and EIN could be anywhere from $200 to $400. Yes, you can get it free. Some people do, some people don't. It just really would depend. Cash that you're going to need to put into your ATM, $2,000 to $3,000, right? If you want to make it passive when you're starting your ATM business and you want to only have to work 30 minutes to an hour per month, then what you're going to want to do is go ahead and put $2,000 to $3,000 in. That's what we always suggest, right? So getting your contract created, right? Your site location agreement, this is going to be determined by what type of lawyer that you go to. Are you going to, a lawyer that's going to make you pay by the hour? Or are you going to go to a lawyer and they just have you make one big payment, just one upfront payment? It really will just depend. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the site location agreement is essentially a contract that's needed between you and whatever business owner that you're working with. And what's going to happen with that is you're going to find yourself in a situation where you have to have that site location agreement in order to get processing. Reason being, if you don't, then the processor and you could be held liable if the business owner does some sketchy stuff. Okay. Now again, your site location agreement is going to change for every single contract that you get signed. It's not going to be the same, black and white template every single time, because you got to think you're going to be potentially giving the business owner some surcharge. Sometimes you won't, and you can't, how do you account for that, right? So your site location agreement is going to have to get changed multiple times. Now, websites, logos, business cards, flyers, there's a lot of different ways to take a look at that in terms of how much would you pay to get one of those done. Websites, we all know, can be anywhere from $100 to $500. Logos can be anywhere up to $100. So same thing with business cards, same thing with flyers. Really just depends on where you're at. So that's why we put question marks there. And then if you take a look at that, even if you take out the site location agreement, we're already at least $5,000. Okay, so just from having the ATM itself and the money to put in the ATM, you're already at $5,000. And then when you take into account your site location agreement, now you're at that 6-7K figure that I came up with earlier, and that's not including your LLC, website, logo, business cards, and flyers. Now, mind you, this is all being paid and you still don't have any way to get a return on investment. So if you were starting this business by yourself, you would put forth all this money, but okay, well, where do you make your money? You don't have a location. You have a contract, but you don't have anybody to sign that contract. And that's where people will get stuck. So if you're starting by yourself and you don't have a 100% foolproof plan to get that return on investment or that ROI, then why did you even start, right? Now, they do have business location finders, right? So there's companies, well, I won't even say companies, because a lot of them are more for regular vending machines, and so they're not going to do too well when they're looking for ATM locations. But there are very few and far between location finders. My company does that as well. And typically locations are anywhere from $400 to $1,000. Okay, so if you were to pay a location finder to find you a location, you're going to pay anywhere from $400 to $1,000. So we're already at that $7,000 to $8,000 mark. Okay, now why spend all of that money? And mind you, you still don't know how to run an ATM business. You've just taken the steps to create one, but you don't know how to run it, because nowhere in here did you get any mentoring. You don't have any type of mentorship whatsoever. You're just kind of freestyling it. And every time you want a location, because you don't have a foolproof way to bring leads to you, now you're paying for every location that you get. And that just seems backwards, right? And so let's talk about what the solution to this is going to be. It's going to be ATM automation. Okay, so ATM automation, what that's going to cost you is the same amount of money that you would have spent had you went all out in the first place with your ATM. So 8K one time, no profit share. So that means you would pay my company one time and everything that you make will be 100% yours. Okay, so what is ATM automation? Okay, so there's two parts to it. So the first part is we're going to provide you with everything that you need, right? So you have your ATMs, like we said, are $2,500 to $3,000, right? So that's the value here that you're already getting by becoming a part of our ATM automation program. Is you're getting an ATM for free that is within $2,500 to $3,000. You're getting a brand new 2021 ATM, all the bells and whistles, as well as warranties on that machine as well. And you're also going to get access to the ATM Freedom University coaching program. You're going to get a lifetime access. Now, typically this is a $3,000 value, right? So you're getting access to my most advanced content. Okay, this is typically a $3,000 value, and now you're actually going to also get access to our private ATM distributors, and you're going to get access to our third-party companies that are going to vault cash for you. So those three things alone honestly, they're priceless, right? Because you're getting one-on-one mentorship with me, and that means you actually get to get on phone calls with me for actual peer-to-peer coaching, right? So I'm actually going to be helping you negotiate all of your contracts. I'm going to be making sure that every step that you take is something that I told you to do, so that you can get to the level of success that I have in my ATM business. Okay, and this mentorship is forever. It's a lifetime. Okay, so there's never going to be a time, even if it's 5 years from now, where I won't answer the phone when you call. Okay, so you're going to get access to our private ATM distributors, and as we know, there's a lot of sketchy distributors that have been popping up over the past couple of weeks. I should say the past couple of months. And basically what they're doing is they're having great, amazing deals. And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of people who are just starting in the industry, who are looking for a deal. So for the people who are looking for a deal, and you find yourself, hey, this is an ATM, it's typically $2,500. They're selling it for $2,000, $1,900. What's going to happen to you is you're going to pay for that ATM and you're not going to get an ATM. Okay, it's happened to a lot of people. It hasn't happened to any of my students because we use very specific private ATM distributors that we have been working with for years, so our students don't have to worry about that. But I have been getting a lot of information, a lot of DMs with people saying that it has happened to them. Okay, so you're also going to get done for you logos, websites, flyers, brochures, marketing materials, business cards, the whole shebang. As we all know, all of that together would at least be $1,000. Okay, so that's at least $1,000 value there. And then these are two big things here: guaranteed bank account. Okay, so what does that mean? As we know, you cannot get a business bank account easily in this industry because banks are concerned about money laundering, and they look at our business as a money services business, which we are not. But they still treat us that way. Okay, you also have to take into account the uneducated bank tellers that are there. How do you deal with that? What conversations do you have? So not only do we teach you how to have conversations with banks to get your bank account open, but we also make sure that you have all the legal documentation that you need in order to get that bank account open. Okay, and regardless of what issues you may have in the banking side of things, we guarantee that you will get up and running. This is where people get stuck, and this is where people stop. Now, also, we're providing you with 3 guaranteed clients. Okay, 3 guaranteed clients, and those, like we talked about before, is at least a $400 to $1,000 value each. Okay, so that's at least at the maximum $3,000 worth of value right there. And this is where you're making your return on investment. Is these locations are going to make you money. And the reason that I say that is because if they don't make you any money within 2 to 3 months, we replace that location for you. So we take your ATM and we put it in a location that is producing capital for you, because the goal of this is to get you set up and get you rolling right from the get-go. Right from the get-go, we get you going, get some money coming in, and then we have 2 other locations, 2 other contracts that we're going to also provide to you. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you see the value in jumping into ATM automation versus just starting the business by yourself. Okay, it just makes sense to put that same amount of money towards a situation, towards an opportunity that's going to actually yield you money. If you start by yourself with no actual plan, what is the point if there's no return on investment? When you come and work with us, there's a return on investment. Okay, so if you're interested, guys, this is application only. Okay, it's application only. We're not going to work with everybody. Obviously, the one caveat is that the program is $8K. We've discussed that, so you guys know the price. But at the same time, we still have to vet each and every person that we get on the phone call with, because this is not going to be for everybody, and it takes a considerable amount of work. And so we only want to work with people who we feel comfortable working with. Okay, so it is application only. In the description of this video and in the comment section, that's where you're going to find the application. Okay, so put in the application, book a time to talk with me, and we'll hop on the phone. You'll talk with me personally, and book a time, get on the phone with me, we'll chat, we'll talk about the program, we'll see if it's a good fit. All right, so that's all that I have for you guys in this video. Leave your comments below, make sure you subscribe and like this video.